Hello friends, for today's Beating Grandmaster with Stupid Stuff, we will be casting while I am playing, pretending like I can't hear myself and like I am not truly me. So, here we go. Hello everyone, welcome back to another high-level game of StarCraft 2. Today we have Glittering Ashes, and in the bottom left corner, spawning as the green Protoss player playing for Team Shopify Rebellion, it's none other than Harstem over here, who's messing up the position of the first pile, and I believe that a complete wall is not going to be viable anymore because of that. There's a little hole there on the far right side, but we'll get to that later. First, introduce the opponent on the other side of the map, starting in the red trunks playing for Team Liquid. It is none other than Kelazhur. Kelazhur, a very dangerous opponent for Harstem as well. The two have played in the past with different results. I believe the last time they played a best of 2 or a best of 3, it was indeed Harstem who got the win there. Harstem opening up with a 70 Nexus, a very uncommon build order, which is something that Parting made popular a while ago, and used to always follow that up as well with a very powerful 3-gate type of adept timing. We'll see if Harstem is going to play something like this. It's a build I haven't seen in over a year. There has to be a good reason for that. I'm not quite sure what that reason is. Darren's probably just got too good at defending it. But instead we see Harstem take a second gas already. So this is just a major switch up from what we were used to seeing. No scout, by the way, from either player. Kelazhur probably opening up with a double gas opener here as well, if I were to guess what this is. And Harstem sends his probe around the map, trying to dodge that initial Reaper path, and will get an Adept out for himself. Oh, this is a really quick Reaper here coming out of Kelazhur. That's a proxy Reaper right now. Oi, 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 oi. So it is indeed a 2-gas opener, but the first barracks was proxied, and this definitely is an issue for the the old Dutch Protoss player. Oi, 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 oi. Well, I think so far only a single worker has gone down on the side of the Protoss, but that bunker in the natural. Oi, 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 going to add insult to injury here. This makes life so much harder for Harstem than it ever really should have been. It's going to lose another worker here. Stargate gets built in the main base, but that bunker is something that he definitely did not expect to happen. And we see the money. He can't even continuously be building workers right now. This is just a major issue. Not scouting around the map for that proxy is definitely costing him right now. And I bet he wished that he did. God, that must feel awful. Oh, another worker is going to bite the dust. And we're only working with a single Stalker and a single Adept. Another Chrono being utilized here on that gateway. And yeah, Kelazhur in a fantastic position right now. Kelazhur is going to be really happy with this start. Proxy Reaper dealing some good damage for sure. We'll have to wait and see what that first Stargate unit is going to be. It seems to me like it will be an Oracle. Indeed the case. Probe's already transferring to the natural. I think that's just a little bit too fast. No, that definitely was a little bit too fast. So we now see Harstem trying to break this this position. Not quite sure if that is going to be possible without using the super battery here. Sometimes it is hard to say what exactly is going to happen, but... Oh. We have a Cyclone showing up as well right now. Oh. Cyclone is here and might be capable of being taken out by this Oracle. We'll have to wait and see exactly what's going to happen here. Oh, close fight! But the Cyclone does end up dying without taking out that Oracle. Both of the Reapers also fall. And at the end of the day, was this really so bad for Harstem is a question that we can now ask ourselves. Well, he is moving into a bit of a supply block. We don't know what the follow-up is going to be for the Terran player either. Most likely going to be some type of mine drop or a marine drop. See a second gateway coming down and 2 oracles. Surely that second oracle is a mistake. I don't think that was actually intended out of Harstem there. Also is lacking vision around the map. It looks like it's going to be Blink for Harstem as a follow-up, but he's extremely in the dark currently, so I'm not entirely sure what the plans are going to be. We'll just get a we'll get the Blink out, or I mean Harstem will get the Blink out here. And we'll have to wait and see what he's going to do with it. We see these oracles patrolling the airspace, trying to get any type of info before, you know, it hits the base. Making sure that there's a path of vision around this base. And that makes its way across the map. We'll get the first shade off. This is the first real info that Harstem gets this entire game. What an incredibly blind and stupid player he is. Does actually get something important here, though. Sees continued production of factory units. And now knows that most likely there's not going to be a mine drop. As a result, these oracles will start moving on the map. I think that is 100% the correct call. Harstem does need to be careful, does not want to lose these oracles to any of these cyclones that are there. Excuse me, I'm misspeaking an awful lot today. It's like I have something else on my mind at times. One cyclone, two cyclones, both just guarding the ramp for now. We'll have to wait and see if Kelazhur is going to move. This is Harstem is planning on an attack in the natural. Does spot the turret right now. And says, hey, yeah, Harstem spots the turret and now has a tag on these cyclones as well. I think Harstem actually just, what is this? Oh, Harstem just now spotted the bunker that is being constructed at his third base. Surely that is a mistake. At the same time, Kelazhur moves into a massive stasis ward, and that is going to foil the dirty plans that the Terran player for Team Liquid had over here. More stasis wards being planted on the map, or at least should be planted right now on the map. Harstem a little bit slow with everything here. Oh, what a terrible blink forward. Oh, Harstem not believing there was anything on top of that ramp, but it was the entire army out of Kelazhur. Stim is done as well. Oi, 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 oi. What an awful situation here for the Dutch Protoss player, who is struggling to get the infrastructure up that he needs. Does have a very nice economy at this point already, though, and that is also worth something, but he still needs to survive the upcoming push, basically. That should be the main priority right now. So we see these extra sentries being warped in. I do like that. I wouldn't mind some secondary tech. Yep, there we have it indeed. The robotics facility going down in the natural right now. Continued chrono boost as well. Oh, another stasis ward. This time only hitting... Oh, a single unit. This is not looking too good for the Dutch Protoss player, who is just struggling right now. And he's going to continue struggling to stay alive. Is Kelazhur spotting this stasis ward? I don't think he is. Moves his entire army into the stasis. The question now is there enough to defend? I think Harstem is about to find out that the answer there is no. And blink forward, that's an aggressive move, but probably the correct move as well. Look at that, more stalkers being warped in right now. All of these medevacs are going to fall. Oh no, the tanks are coming off cooldown, out of the stasis. We see the oracles joining in the fight as well. Good blink control out of the Dutch Protoss player. Oh my god, these blink stalkers. It's like they're magic. They're appearing, disappearing. This is unbelievable to watch. This Dutch Protoss player is making magic happen here, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot believe what I'm seeing. Fourth base gets thrown down immediately as well. And more zealots are getting warped in. Robo finished up. That means that a prism is on the way. There's 4 gases, 5th being taken immediately here. And we'll most likely see that fast row away. Yep, there we have it already. The only real problem right now for Harstem is the fact that there's just not a lot of vision on the map for him. Upgrades are looking okay. It's currently +1 for Kelazhur, who has a Liberator out. It's probably a misclick, if anything. Surely Kelazhur doesn't actually want to build a Liberator at this point. We immediately see Harstem spot it and move some stuff around on the map. Ooh, here comes that prism indeed. And I wouldn't mind seeing a couple of extra stasis, but it does feel like there's just not enough energy for that at this point. A couple of sentries might be useful to try and hold. The Liberator just got spotted heading towards the main base. And now the question is, does Kelazhur respect Harstem? If Kelazhur respects Harstem, he's going to wait with that Liberator until he does anything. If he doesn't respect Harstem, he's going to send it in immediately, hoping that Harstem did not pay attention whatsoever. It seems like there is some mutual respect here. Or at least respect coming out of Kelazhur. Kelazhur actually is moving in right now. Interesting move. Very interesting move. Is going to lose the Liberator, but will allow himself to get in a pretty decent position. And that position could be really dangerous right now for Harstem. There is not enough damage output, but the super battery is making Harstem hold for now. God, what a broken feature of the Protoss race that is, huh? Absolutely unbelievable. Harstem a bit slow with sending in that prism as well at the same time. I have to admit, the Dutchie used to be faster when he was young and more attractive. We'll have to wait and see how this is going to develop. This is still a developing story. Oh, more of these Marauders coming in as well right now. Zealot's going to try and tank some of these shots. Colossi won't be super useful, by the way, as the prism straight up flies into a turret. Mainly Marauder army, and that's why the Colossi isn't super useful. You really just have to wait for the next super battery in order for Harstem to be capable of breaking this position right now. It feels like it might actually be a little bit too late. Oh, there's the super battery. There is the super battery indeed. Super battery gets sniped, and now an attempt at the life of this Colossi. It feels like it is going to die. A lot of workers might have died on the side of Kelazhur, but it's not going to matter, as the end score is that Harstem dies against this very, very committed push here out of Kelazhur. Look at that. Mine still alive. Tank over here as well. Harstem just not in position because of that Liberator moving in towards the next roll. Force field's not in time, and perhaps the supply a little bit too low as well for the Dutch Protoss player. It felt like there were opportunities, but in the end, there weren't really. Not fast enough with the Colossi, not quick enough with adding extra Zealots in as well. Maybe a little bit of a flank could have been useful, but all of these things, of course, are just afterthoughts. As right now the score is 1-0 in favor of Kelazhur against Harstem, and we'll have to wait and see if there's going to be a rematch, because this is the ladder, and anything can happen here. Sadly, Kelazhur did not want a rematch, so instead it's Harstem here in the bottom left spawning as the green Protoss once again versus in the top left as the red Zerg player playing for Team Ents. It is serral, of course. And we'll have to wait and see what these players are going to do. Both of these players matched up very recently against each other on the ladder, where serral absolutely demolished Harstem in a very one-sided show. At the same time, during the EPT DreamHack Masters Valencia 2022, we saw Harstem play one hell of a game on the second map, taking a massive lead against the Finnish Zerg player, but then throwing it straight up out of the window after a good performance in the mid-game. We'll have to wait and see what the Dutch Protoss has planned. He's been very keen on playing this type of Oracle into Blink style that has become very popular lately, with Hero playing that initially in the round of 10 against Dark. I believe it was the first time we truly saw that, and then quickly the EU tosses catching on to how good it was very quickly after. We'll have to wait to see if that's going to be the case here. Of course, a bit dependent on how serral will open as well, but serral usually a player that is just extremely solid in that early game, likes to play the early game very safe, very clean. Make sure that the creep spread is halfway across the map, and then have a lot of options in the mid game. Can go into Lurkers, can go into Ravager, Link Bane. Lately, big fan of the Lurkers. Serral has been a very, very big fan of the Lurkers. Harstem, by the way, not opening up with a scout. That means he's slightly exposed to any potential 12 pools. It's a risky move for sure here, because serral in the past has 12 pooled Harstem, because Harstem is a greedy prick. He is someone that takes money when he can get it. And he does everything for money, this guy. He'd sell his own family members if he could. But he doesn't. Now, we have to wait and see exactly what serral's plans are going to be. It seems like a hatch first for now. Harstem throwing down a spray. That's a little bit silly coming from him, because surely he is going to lose. He is not the favorite player. Throwing this type of bad manner on the map against a player as nice as serral. I'm not surprised that no one likes this Dutch idiot. The probe moves back. Serral splits up the links, and this is a move that we often see out of serral, wanting to send one of them across the map to try and run by. Ooh. Actually, no third base in the location where we usually see it out of serral. Slightly confusing, maybe even a little bit disappointing here. As we see a cancel on the adapt, and instead the probe is going to move to the alternate hardwire third base. We'll have to wait and see what serral's actual plans are. No third so far out of serral. Ladies and gentlemen, serral is switching it up, and this is extremely exciting. I am so curious what we will be seeing here out of the Finnish Zerg player. But this is so different from what we usually see out of him. Okay, it's going to be a late third. But the question now, of course, remains is why that delayed third base? Is there something like a quicker queen? Is there a Roach Warren going down somewhere? What is going on? That is the question on everyone's mind right now. Sadly, we do not have full information, of course. We make life a little bit easier with the casting, but the production of this broadcast has not been fantastic. I can tell you that much, my friend. Now, it seems like this Overlord will end up falling. Nothing Serral can do will stop that, no matter how hard he'll try. And he tried so hard, and that Overlord got relatively far. But in the end, it doesn't even matter. 350, and we see the third base go down. Ooh, still? Okay. That is interesting. So, right now, there's no speed still available for Serral. This is extremely interesting, even. And that can have many reasons. One of the reasons could be a Nidus play, of course, here. So, Harstem, thinking something similar, immediately warps in 2 Stalkers in towards the main base. And also gets a revelation here on Serral's scrap. What do you call it? On Serral's main base. And that lair is extremely fast. Are we going to see a bit of a Hydra rush here? Is a viable question. It's a very valid question, not just a viable question. It might actually be. This might actually be a Hydra rush. This is something we haven't seen in years, ladies and gentlemen. A Hydra rush. That's not a build order. That is crazy stuff. Absolutely crazy stuff here. Okay, we'll have to wait and see exactly what's going to be happening. Ooh, Roach Warren? What actually is happening here? Seems like Serral's losing a lot of workers for now. And also losing a couple of workers right now in that third base. Serral, under heavy pressure. The Dutchman is putting so much pressure onto the powerful Finnish Zerg player. We see roaches being produced. Surely that is not what you want right now, Serral. You're fighting against a Stalker abuser here. Harstem can't do anything but just build Stalkers like a complete clown. And this is what you respond with? This is no worker count either. This is such a low worker count. No fort base on the way yet for the Zerg player. We see the first few roaches on the way already. Probably moving out to try and get something here. What are we feeling though? What is this actually going to be here for Serral? No fort base still in this location. We have extra gases being constructed right now. Big revelation on the way. There is a probe in Harstem's army. Now that is a mistake. Not surprised that the Dutch guy's making mistakes. God, he's such an idiot at times, huh? Guy really doesn't know how to play this game. We immediately see a second force go down as well. This is extremely greedy, risky stuff. But the creep spread is non-existent. Is this really Serral playing? Is something that we could be asking. Or his brother. Of course, Serral has a very talented brother as well called Protosser, who used to be quite good back in the day. Hasn't played in a while though, and perhaps that's what's showing here in this game. Serral dropping unit after unit. Oh no, Serral! This is some awful stuff for you, my friend. Serral in huge trouble right now. He's losing roach after roach. No more roaches remaining. Has Harstem done it? After years of struggling to take games against Serral. Oh, that was too slow there with the blink micro. God, terrible stuff here out of Harstem. I have to admit, huh? I believe that Harstem might have actually done it. What is the follow-up going to be, though? We see a Dark Shrine. This is something we never see. It's almost like Harstem is trolling or doesn't know what to do, and he's getting nervous. That is what it feels like for... Oh, he just killed his own roach! Just killed his own roach! Serral just killed his own roach. What a monumental error here out of the Finnish Zerg player, who is right now... He must be fuming. 7.4k MMR. Did I just hear a Nidus there on the map? I am not seeing it yet, ladies and gentlemen, but... That was the sound of a Nidus. The sound of a Nidus worm indeed. Serral does get the surround here. We don't have these extra upgrades coming down yet. Was that a Nidus worm, or are my ears actually deceiving me? Also possible, of course. I don't have the most powerful ears in the world. I thought I heard a Nidus worm, but maybe it just was a different sound. The question now is, does Serral already have a fort base or not? I think so far the answer is going to be no. A lot of links here being used in a run-by. Would not mind seeing that charge being researched just a little bit faster. Are we going to see DT blink? That is completely possible. That is completely possible right now. DT Blink out of Harstem would be something that, well, it's just extremely uncommon. But then again, this entire game is something uncommon, as Harstem isn't down and out yet. That is something that we definitely had not expected. We expected a lot of things out of this game, but all of them ending with a serral win. And as that is not quite yet the case, people are starting to get a little bit confused. People are starting to ask themselves, what is going on here in this game? What actually is happening? What is reality? What is fake? Can we still trust the mainstream media? Is serral actually as good as people make him out to be? Or has Harstem cracked the code? Cracked the case? Oh, queens are going to be caught off creep as well. Fantastic snipe. The Dutch Protoss absolutely on fire here right now. So we have an Overseer moving in towards the main base. Will spot the Dark Shrine being built. Or the Dark Shrine being finished, I have to say. Oh, huge supply block for the Dutch Protoss player. Absolutely humongous supply block. The type of supply block that you try to hide if you were even remotely smart. With Harstem, he cannot hide this. God, this is pathetic to watch. He's crumbling under the pressure right now. Is he going in for... Oh my god! Huge hits here out of these lurkers on these units initially. Oh, and this is something that Harstem was not quite ready for. And life is falling apart. Now, this is how we know serral. Just way better. Just solid, strong, in control. And that is what he does. That is what he is doing right now. However, there is a prism in the main base of serral. There's not enough gates to truly make use of that, I believe. What currently is the disruptor count also not quite high enough to just move across the map and win the game. I don't think so, at least. We see some extra upgrades being started. We have a fifth base on the way. Fifth base already done here for Harstem. That's not quite the case yet, of course, for serral, who's just struggling mightily in this situation. More disruptors on the way right now. Harstem still in control of this game. Let's not forget that Harstem is ahead. The problem is that in order for Harstem to win, he needs to be further than just ahead. Serral needs to be practically dead in order for Harstem to be winning a game like this. Oh. Disruptor shots not quite connecting. And this might just be the end, my good friends, ladies and gentlemen. These disruptor shots do not end up hitting. This is of course a massive issue here for the Dutch Protoss player, who's now most likely going to try to move forward with these disruptors, see if he can get anything done at the same time. Maybe a solid run by in towards the natural serral, paying attention rather well. Ooh. Serral paying attention rather well. What else was I gonna say? I can't recall. But Oracle's in a little bit of trouble. No, are going to survive for now. Huge run by coming in here out of serral though. With a lot of these roaches. The super battery is putting in some work as well. Oh, here come a couple of lurkers. Here come a couple of lurkers. A couple of lurkers are going to die as well. Oh, the next set of lurkers is going to perhaps fall. Serral in perhaps trouble. Perhaps absolutely owning the Dutch Protoss right now. As we see some struggles here for the Dutch Protoss to actually defend the inside bases. There's not enough production. Oh no. Once again, just falling apart when it matters the most. What a frustrating situation here. And being a fan of this guy must really suck, because he never seems to win. Recall in towards the natural, but surely that is not going to be good enough. This base has not fallen. There was no base there, so then a base can't fall. If there is no base there, that is just how life really works. There already was a transition ready with these, what do you call them, with the follow-up here. But yeah, it seems like just a little bit too slow here out of Harstem. A little bit too slow. We now see DTs being warped in. Surely that is not for Archons, right? That has to be a mistake here. That has to be a mistake out of the Dutch Protoss player. I will not buy it. I will not buy it. A couple of Archons are being built. Question now is going to be, where is serral moving with his main army? Well, he's moving in position, it seems like. moving in position to win the game. God, this is painful to watch here. As a fan of the game and a long-time lover of StarCraft 2, watching a game unfold in this way is never pretty, of course. Yeah, serral just in an absolutely dominant position here. You see these Archons trying to trade the best of their ability. There is no more detection whatsoever available currently. Ay, ay, ay. It seems like Harstem is completely dead at this point. There's nothing left for Harstem to do. Oh, except maybe get these? Is it possible in this case to just get a couple of these oracles out and with the help of oracles actually deal damage? It might be possible, but the problem is there needs to be a counterattack at some point, and it needs to be within the next 20 seconds. I cannot believe, I can't state that this game was completely over. I can't state that enough, and that serral making it happen here is a minor miracle. It is a minor miracle. This game was as over as they come. As over as they come. That much I can tell you, my friends. Absolutely. TT gets warped in defensively. It is not going to be enough. Harstem here goes in for a desperation push. But surely serral will be all set up. Vipers in position. There will be maybe even Brute Lords out. No, but a good count of Corruptors is out here. And this is an issue here for the Dutch Protoss player, who is going to get some of these bad boys. You see these Disruptors are hitting in a pretty decent way. At the same time, it is just not going to be enough. It can't be. Surely it cannot be enough. This base might get taken out though. Oh, huge round here on top of the army. Maybe some big Disruptor hits can save the day, and the answer is a loud and resounding no. And after a fantastic start here for the Dutch Protoss player, who felt like he had serral on the ropes, serral was down in workers, low unit count, and probably down in upgrades as well, but the Protoss player opting to go for a Dark Shrine rather than a fast Robo, no Templar Archives, all just huge errors that make no sense in retrospect. And I'm wondering what he was thinking there. Sadly, he left the call already and we will not be capable of getting a loser's interview. serral also is not picking up the phone as he has my number blocked. And that means that sadly it's going to be it for today's video, my friends. So close there was Harstem in both of these games to winning, but not quite close enough. 3 points get lost. So we see serral at 7-4-3-1 MMR. That's going to be it for me today. Thanks all so much for watching. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hopefully I'll see all of you next time for a new video. Thank you, and bye-bye.